Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I appreciate you taking time during a lunch hour to join us for the Tech Center office hours. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of joining us before, my name is Michael Tattuvaswamy. I'm the director of the Enabling Services and Support team here at the Tech Center. We will share a little bit more details about what the Enabling Services team does for your team and the system. Today's session will be led by our Executive Director, Dr. Jennifer Coleman. And at the end, we will reserve time for questions. These sessions are aimed to give you the opportunity to come and get the answers you're looking for about services or products or any support that you're looking for system-wide resources. We'll quickly cover a couple of housekeeping notes, and then we will dive in. Yeah. So yeah, the recording of the session will be available, and we will send it out along with the slide deck in 5 to 10 days once the captioning is done. Please drop any questions you have in the chat. Your college experience managers are online here with us, and they will be monitoring the chat session, and we'll be pausing along the way to review questions and answer those. So please drop your questions in the chat for us. Thank you. So with that, I'll turn this over to you, Jennifer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Welcome to everyone. We have a good group here today. We always try to offer this Tech Center 101 session once a year in the fall as a way to let everybody know what we're working on here at the Technology Center and to allow for questions as we kick off the new academic year. So I'm going to touch on a few Tech Center highlights and an overview of what it is we do. It's a lot. And we'll talk about a few specific areas, including network services for fiber optic connectivity via scenic, our accessibility center, resources and initiatives related to their work, bidirectional fraud reporting, always a hot topic, especially this time of year. We'll talk about our CCC data warehouse and report server and some new functionality and enhancements coming there. And then we'll touch on everybody's favorite topic outside of fraud, although related, and that is CCC Apply and the Student Success Suite and the work that we've been doing there for now a number of years. And then, as Michael alluded to, we want the opportunity to answer your questions and make sure that you know how to engage with our team on all of these topics. So welcome. Thank you for your time this afternoon. I know calendars are very busy, and lunchtime is one of those few windows that we have available, although it is also nice to eat lunch sometimes. What does the CCC Technology Center do? What is our mission? We work at the direction of the Chancellor's Office to facilitate and lead technology projects in pursuit of digital equity and Vision 2030 goals. We try to achieve savings through economies of scale and system-wide coordination, and by providing common infrastructure and centralized services, we hope that we can provide resources to colleges to make work easier at the local level by providing centralized structure and support through the Tech Center. A few highlights. So we are grant funded. We have multiple grants on a multi-year funding cycle. And we also receive apportionment for some of our programs that are ongoing in nature. We have about mid-80s, 80+ software and services contracts that we execute annually for both operational purposes and also on behalf of the system and all of your colleges. The Tech Center is made up of about 95 team members in service to all of our colleges and districts. And those include both Butte College employees. Butte College is our host district, and a number of contractors. We manage over 15 million student accounts through the creation of CCC IDs in 2012. We have provisioned and managed those 15 million plus accounts. We also processed in the 23-24 fiscal year over 3.6 million applications through CCC Apply. So those are just a few of the highlights that we like to share about what it is we do from a volume perspective. But to touch on some of the detail, we offer custom software development and maintenance of software for several different purposes. We have 3 primary teams within the Tech Center Our curriculum management team manages CID in coordination with the statewide academic senate. And we have the Chancellor's Office Curriculum Inventory, COCI or COKI, that we manage by direction of the Chancellor's Office. And that is also tied to now the Common Course Numbering project, which we'll touch on briefly at the end. We have an infrastructure and data team that manages the data lake and data warehouse, and also the development and integrations tied to Superglue, which is our integration layer and bidirectional fraud reporting tool. And then MMPS is the multiple measures placement service that provides recommendations for placement with or without support tied to English and math, specifically tied to AB 705 and AB 1705. Our Student Success Suite is made up of OpenCCC, CCC Apply, and CCC MyPath. Those are really the onboarding tools and support tools to get students into our colleges and assist them in checking off the steps required along the path to navigate successfully. For e-transcript, one of our primary projects that's been around since 2007, we provide vendor management to our primary vendor, and we are working on the system-wide work around e-transcript tied to the Cradle to Career data effort at the state. All of our custom software solutions are built on Amazon Web Services infrastructure, and we have partners through AWS that support those efforts and that infrastructure. And we set up a project management office in 2016 to make sure that we are coordinating documentation, dependencies, communication, release management, and we leverage a number of tool sets tied to our software solutions, including the Atlassian suite, Bitbucket, Rainforest, Zendesk for some of our help support tickets, Slack for internal communication, and Smartsheet for a number of purposes as well. So those are our software solutions, custom software development and maintenance. That's one part of the work that we provide to the system. And all of those tool sets listed in the top 3 bullets, many of them have been around for many years. And in addition, we offer a number of system-wide services. So tied to all of the custom software solutions that we provide, we have our enabling services and support team. They provide 24/7 student help desk services and also faculty and staff implementation assistance. We have college experience managers assigned to each of the 116 colleges as a single point of contact for all things tech center related. And our support services sometimes become invisible, but are a critical part of the services that we provide to the colleges through assisting students with navigating into our colleges and our pathways, and also in making sure that you all as faculty and staff have the tools you need to take advantage of the services and software that we offer for free. We also house the Accessibility Center, which has taken on a really big task over the last 18 months, and that is to establish an accessibility capability maturity model, and is focused on proactive and reactive work around sections 508 and 504. They also provide testing for all Tech Center products and services and procurement guidance to make sure that we are aligning to the requirements for accessibility for all of our tool sets that we offer to colleges. They offer a number of software solutions that colleges can take advantage of through central purchase through the Tech Center that include services for dashboards for Canvas, web scanning, PDF accessibility, and document conversion. And we'll touch a little bit more on accessibility details as highlighted in the announcement for this session here in a few minutes. We offer a number of subscription services to colleges. So library database services, we have run through a competitive RFP that was awarded to EBSCO, and all colleges have access to that. We also manage listservs, not the pointer listservs that are the Chancellor's Office focused listserv by position, but these are about 350 lists that tend to be specialized. They're things like, there's a colleague user group, there's a PeopleSoft user group, there are all different kinds of listservs associated to regions and projects and initiatives that have been put in place. And so our team manages those lists. We also provide security software, specifically and currently Splunk and Tenable as two specific pieces of software that colleges can utilize. And we manage our system-wide in-common membership to allow for unlimited SSL certificates for all of our colleges. So those are our system-wide services outside of our custom software solutions that we provide. One of the big things that we do is support the connectivity for all of our colleges to the Cal-Ren fiber optic backbone. And that's what you're seeing in this picture is the fiber optic backbone that runs throughout the state of California for the California Research and Education Network for internet connectivity for all of our colleges and sites. So this map was updated in March of 24. And we are fortunate to be part of CNIC, where they are always looking for expanding the backbone into what you can see are some fairly dark parts of our state. We work with CNIC to make sure that all of our colleges, primary campuses, and centers have connectivity. And emails have started going out regarding some router replacements for end of life. We are tracking on all of our circuitry to make sure that it's all current and that we are adding capacity to support the significant increase in demand on our fiber optic networks as more devices become connected. Specifically, we offer a number of free network services, and that is, as I just mentioned, primary and secondary circuits for college sites. We provide 10 gig circuits for our official designated centers and district office sites. We provide 1 gig connectivity. Colleges can also opt into additional bandwidth by agreement with our CNIC team for a pay-to-play fee kind of a service, but we provide these as part of the central services. There's also the Digital California service, Layer 2 virtual private network service, ELINE or ELAN, Layer 3 virtual private network service, IPVPN, optical service, and optical spectrum service. So these are all included as what we pay for centrally through CNIC that every college can take advantage of. We have our CNIC Tech Center project manager on the call today to answer any questions that may come into chat with regards to CNIC, but we encourage every college to look critically at their current circuit structure and make sure that you are getting the services that you're eligible for connectivity. In addition to what we provide centrally, because we are part of CNIC, we are also eligible for low-cost services. So Internet to Cloud Connect, CNIC Rapid Private Interconnect, RPI, and then Internet to DDoS mitigation and Internet to AL2S. Those are all available right now, low-cost services. We are looking at centrally funding DDoS mitigation based on some of the activity that we've seen over the last year or so. So stay tuned for more information about that potential. But be sure you've reached out about CNIC functionality and updates and upgrades for your colleges and sites. I'm going to turn it over now to our Accessibility Center Director, Dawn Okinaka, to talk about our ACMM, which I always have to say this slowly, our Accessibility Capability Maturity Model, and what progress we're making there. Dawn?
Hello, everyone. So the Accessibility Capability Maturity Model is a cultural business process improvement model that allows us to integrate accessibility into all aspects of our colleges and districts, but to do it in an iterative improvement process rather than a try and get it all done in 1 year. So we're changing the culture, we're changing the way we're thinking about accessibility and integrating it into our processes and procedures rather than doing it at the end. And while we're doing that, we're proactively addressing all documentation requirements that Office of Civil Rights would require should they come in for an investigation. We are ensuring that digital accessibility is moving forward to meet the ADA Title II updates. So through the capability maturity model, you're also working on those ADA Title II updates that go into effect in April 24 of 2026. And so it's about looking at where you are currently from an accessibility standpoint, not just in your distance education courses, but across your institution, and then creating a roadmap of how you're going to move forward and in measurable, reasonable progress. So when we come to your college and conduct an ACMM introduction, we start with admin level training. It takes about 4 hours. We cover all aspects of the ACMM in a concept base, trying to make it interactive. And then we sit down and do small group assessments to determine where the college and or district is in each of the areas of the capability maturity model. Then after that, we provide a report and we stick around. You're part of my immediate close friends after that, and we continue to provide you guidance as a college, as we do with all of our colleges. And we work with each college to drive them from where they are currently to accessible to the capability maturity model accessibility. So currently we have 10 districts participating in the ACMM. This represents over 25 colleges in our system. We do still have space available in our current cohort for the 24-25 year, about 10 spaces available. If your district office gets a separate evaluation from your colleges because the district has their own processes and procedures that, while they relate to the college, are separate from the college. And rounding this out, if you would like more information, we do have on our website more information about including all the goals and milestones related to the ACMM. And you can always send us an email at acmm@ccctechcenter.org. And we would love to set up a meeting and talk more about accessibility with you.
And I'm just going to jump in, and I realize there's a spelling error in that email address, so we will get that fixed. I'm not sure how many of us looked at that, but we'll get that put in the chat and make sure that everyone has the corrected version before the deck and recording are distributed. Moving on, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Klein, the director of our infrastructure and data team, to talk about our superglue fraud reporting.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, our superglue fraud reporting is we introduced as the topic called bidirectional fraud reporting is managed through our superglue framework. And as you might know, the superglue is the Tech Center's integration framework that combines multiple technologies to move data from the Tech Center to the colleges. And we'll talk a little bit more about, and for colleges to send data to the Tech Center that can be shared with other colleges regarding what has been found as identified fraud. The superglue college adapter is in all 116 colleges, which is a really great success that we have the ability to really share data with all 116 colleges. And as we add new services such as the superglue fraud reporting, sometimes called bidirectional fraud reporting, we can add functionality to that superglue framework. We currently have about a third of the colleges set up with the superglue fraud reporting functionality. And what that is it's an API, which is an application programming interface, which allows computers or applications to talk to each other. And this API technology allows colleges to submit their suspected fraudulent application IDs and or CCC IDs to the Tech Center. Our workflows on the Tech Center side analyze the data to determine if the submitted fraud application, if the submitted fraud information it impacts other colleges, meaning if other colleges have received an application from a matched student using the CCC ID. And if impacts are found that a student has applied at multiple colleges, superglue's leverage to notify those colleges of the bad actors and notifications are sent to the fraud report staging table, which can be picked up by the college on the college side of the configuration via the superglue adapter. And this API also allows colleges to query the fraud table using the CCC ID or app ID. The functionality also allows colleges to rescind the application of the identified fraud if they find that the application is not fraudulent. So the way the workflow looks, if you can go to the next screen without getting too technical, this workflow goes clockwise from the top left corner, where where a college reports locally identified fraud, and it's sent through the Superglue Fraud API. It's received by the Tech Center, and we're able to identify other impacted colleges through this process. That fraud is reported, one, by the college, as we talked about, and secondly, we're able to use data from the spam filter during the application process to further identify the fraudulent application. That information then is sent back through the API to the college, where it's delivered to the college's staging table, and it's also available in the data warehouse report server as a fraud report. And the college then receives that fraud report with indicating the fraudulent applications. And as well as that functionality that can rescind follows the same workflow back to the originating college. Let's see. Before we move on, that's the overview of setting of the Superglue fraud reporting capabilities. Our enabling services team is able to work with the colleges to set up this configuration that allows this workflow to support the college identification of fraud. But I noticed that there was a hand or questions perhaps to address, and I can't quite see the question or the hand, but Sandoval or Michael, could you assist with that? Did we not have a hand up? I'm sorry, I thought I saw a hand up. Okay, we'll come back to the questions then. The next topic that I wanted to share about is our data warehouse and report server. The data warehouse, as part of the infrastructure and data framework, was launched in 2020. And our data warehouse currently includes the data sets from CCC, Apply, MyPath, multiple measures, the COCI data, CID data, as well as the Canvas data. And we currently have 111 colleges that can access the data warehouse report server, and there's another 53 colleges that use their own business intelligence tools to access the data directly to run their own queries on the data environments. And there are three things I wanted to talk about that are new this year. One is the new data that's available in the data warehouse, and Canvas Data 2 was recently added to the data excuse me, to the data warehouse. And this includes all the Canvas data, including the learning outcomes data. The way a college can make their data available in the data warehouse is for our enabling services team to work with the Canvas administrator at your college to set up the Canvas, to share the Canvas API key. And once that's done, the Canvas data can flow into the data warehouse, where your college researcher has access to that data. And we have about 14 colleges currently live with access to their Canvas data. This was launched in the spring, so we will do another outreach. But just those of you that are on this call are aware, as we're talking about, the college experience managers of enabling services can help facilitate this process to make the Canvas data available to your college. It's rather powerful data, particularly where we have learning outcomes data now as part of the Canvas 2 data set. The second feature of our data warehouse environment is a new reporting and analytics platform that will be launching in early 2025. This will be reporting for researchers, our A&R teams, and other staff who are currently accessing the Data Warehouse Report Server and the CCC Apply Report Center. And we'll be sending more communication notifications and training and support around the new reporting platform as we move this forward. But it'll be very exciting, and eventually there'll be a single reporting environment that will be available for use by the system. The third area is a data optimization that's currently underway in the data warehouse. We have been working to make the data warehouse for our college researchers easier to use, more powerful to use, and more valuable in terms of the data quality in the data warehouse. So one of the new advances is the development of a new data model where we will be correlating within the data model, the CCC Apply data, along with the college's MIS data, that will give us a chance and get colleges a chance, and the Chancellor's Office the ability to look more holistically at the student life cycle, the courses they're taking, perhaps the other colleges that are where the student is applying. We have recently brought on a data architect to advance the usability of the data warehouse. And the really two goals of that were to help researchers look at data over time to see changes in student activity over time. And then secondly, to advance a data model that allows a correlation of the data elements. And so this will give college researchers a real powerful tools to support local institutional decision-making and where instructional impacts can occur, particularly with the availability of the Canvas 2 data. Those are the current highlights of the data warehouse as we are moving into the fiscal year. And be happy to take questions now or at the end if
Yeah, we have one that we can quickly address, Steve. One question is, how can we request access to the data warehouse?
So the access for colleges can be requested through our college experience manager as part of enabling services. So if we haven't already, we'll put the email address for our college experience managers in the chat.
Will do. Thank you. Let me see if we have other questions. Mark addressed that as well. Thank you. And then there's a question about Canvas data as well. Mark has addressed it. Thank you, Steve. We're good.
Thank you all.
Great. Thank you. Now we'll move on to CCC Apply, and I'll turn it over to Jane Linder, the director of our Student Success Suite. Jane?
Thanks, Jennifer. Greetings, everybody. I'm going to talk about the Student Success Suite, which is what we are calling the conglomeration of the student-facing systems the Technology Center has created and manages. And CCC Apply is the one that everybody knows, but of course, it also includes other online application versions we support, like the non-credit application international and the online CCPG. And in addition to the student account system, as Jennifer mentioned before, which has issued over 15 million CCC IDs since its start. We've had a lot of focus that has been put on CCC Apply in the last 5 or 6 years. We've had a number of reviews by external external teams to look at it and help us learn how to improve it. So out of that came a lot of really great improvements for our students. One of my favorites is that we did internationalize it and provide a Spanish language translation now. We have a mobile forward design. It's allows our students who are increasingly on mobile devices with their to fill out the application. We are starting to build out a new infrastructure for not just CCC Apply, but again, all of the SSS application programs. And we've had some really great strides with that. I don't know how many of you have been with the system for a while, but you may remember that back in 2020, before we switched to our new infrastructure for deploying software, we had upwards of 2 and 3 day downtimes with CCC Apply to deploy new application versions. Now we have the ability to deliver 98% of our updates with no downtime. So that's been a significant improvement for our students and the system. We have Superglue now at all 116 colleges to deliver real-time data delivery of application data. And we have multi-factor authentication when students create their accounts for enhanced security, as well as a lot of other security updates. So next slide. Yeah, our more recent updates that we've been focusing on, we have a lot of legislatively mandated changes. And for those of you who are more recent or don't know this fun fact, 85% of the fields in CCC Apply have been legislatively mandated, required, and codified in the Ed Code. And so we have, quite often requests to add different fields. We've most recently added a field for our veteran students to provide them with more information on benefits that are available to them through the CalVet contact question. And we have a student parent question that allows our colleges and our system to track student parent and their needs, provide them with priority registration and so forth. The annual CCPG, the online application that we have that mimics the PDF that's also available to students, allows colleges who have it to receive streaming, data for CCPG directly into a staging table via Superglue. That, again, is a direct mimic of the PDF and has the same questions on that. So we do every year, we update the income guidelines in lockstep with the PDF version. We recently expanded the American Indian and Alaska Native list of tribes to encompass every tribe that is federally recognized, which is a really great, again, a wonderful thing for our students. It expanded from, I think, 130 tribes. We more than quadrupled the number of tribes that we can identify. The in-progress application report, I know a lot of you are using that. That's been a really great way for you to interact with students who haven't yet submitted their application and try to encourage them to finish that up. This year, we've had the IDME integration. We did multiple rounds of student testing for that that showed us a lot about how students interact with that. We are constantly gathering data about how that's going and revising how that can be used within our system to better effect. So we have a number of really good integrations with the fraud reporting with the IAD team that we've been announcing and kind of giving some information on in our private spam group, which we'll talk about in a minute. And we have a new CCC Apply update request form, which, let me give you the link to that. There you go. Every October, so if that deadline is coming up, we take a look at whatever we've received in terms of enhancement requests for CCC Apply. So if you have a good idea, all our good ideas come from the field. The best ideas come from the field. So if you have ideas on things you want to change about CCC Apply or ideas you have to enhance it and make it better, we would love to hear from you. So please use that form. We're also collaborating actively and have been for the past 2 years with Accenture and the Chancellor's Office on the Reimagine Apply work. And, we're getting close to having an RFP ready for that. So it's been exciting. It's been a lot of detail and a lot of effort across the field on that. So thanks to those of you who responded to surveys and worked with Accenture on your interviews. It's really told us a lot that we need to know about how the application is used. What we're focusing on for this fiscal year is in spring of 2025, we will finally get to a point that we've been hoping to get to for a couple of years now, and that is a dual enrollment focused application on our new infrastructure. And so we have been talking with work groups, and our upcoming Student Success Suite user group will be giving you a progress report and showing you how far we have progressed with that. And we are recruiting actively for student testers for that as well. So a lot of exciting stuff happening. If you wish to join the SSS user group, it's the same, same information that Mark provided on getting data access. You reach out to your college experience manager and we'll get you on that group. Next slide. Okay, fraud mitigation highlights. We can't get into, this is a public recording, so we can't get into a lot of details. So I just want to let you know right now, if you have detailed questions, we will not be able to address them. But we have a lot of tools, third-party tools and other tools that we use to provide fraud protections and fraud evaluations. Where you can find out more detailed information is the private spam group I mentioned. Again, you can reach out to your CEMs and they will provide you with the steps you need to do to join that. It is vetted membership to keep it secure. And we do make sure that everybody there is from our system, and they've been actually evaluated by us to make sure that they are who they are. So reach out to your CEMs and we can get that process started if you're interested in joining that group. The spam filter, which was launched in 2018 to address the fraudulent applications we were starting to receive, has been constantly improved and updated, and again integrated with many of our best in breed third-party tools that again, suggestions for which we receive from the field. We're constantly looking for new fraud patterns and how to respond. We outreach to colleges constantly about their struggles, because we need to all learn together how to deal with this. And we share the frustration of how more and more this takes up a lot of our time that we don't want it to. But we are committed to the fight, and we are learning how to connect the dots by integrating with Superglue and these automated notifications and the fraud fighting that bidirectional Superglue provides. So we're again, details on that. Can't talk about it here, but we have a lot of exciting releases coming up on that. We do have, as I mentioned, a private spam group forum and also a quarterly meetings on fraud for that focus a lot on the spam filter, but also other fraud patterns and tools. So again, if you want to join that, Michael posted the CEMs, and please contact us and let us know. We would definitely need as many voices on this and brains on this as we can get. The IDME integration that we mentioned, we're finding that we have about a third of our students roughly who are adults, because we don't, the minors bypass it, who participate in this. And that their success rate for being able to get through IDME is fairly good. But we are, as I mentioned, looking at ways to integrate it more completely into our processes. So we'll have more to come on that. Thank you very much for your time and coming here. And you can reach out to me and to the CEMs for any follow-up questions.
Jennifer, can we pause real quick for a couple of questions that have come up?
Yes, I see a couple of the questions. As Jane mentioned, some of the specific fraud questions we cannot address in detail here, but I encourage you to reach out to the CEMs to make sure you're part of our fraud forum to get those answered. We'll get to the common course numbering question here in a minute. And let's see. AB 928 and automation of exceptions. So Dave, please reach out to our CEMs and we'll make sure that we have that set up. There is some work locally to make sure is in place for that functionality to work correctly. So we'll want to make sure we follow up with you on that. So the Cynthia regarding timing of IDME, I'm going to have that question be handled separately as well. And I'm sorry, everyone. We have to make sure that when we talk about fraud, we are very, very cautious about the information that we put out publicly, because as soon as bad actors find out what we're doing, they take advantage of it, and we end up farther behind than we had been. So we want to make sure that we are being very cautious with that. Steve, thank you for answering the CCN question. Regarding the social security number being added back into the non-credit application, we do not have an additional update on that, but watch for the CCC apply change request process for addressing that. It has been requested broadly and is being something that is something that's being considered. Let's see. Digital California Service, Anthony, specific to scenic, you'll want to, again, you can start with our college experience managers and they'll put you in touch with Cindy McCartney, our project manager for scenic, for more information on that service. Let's see. Pilot implementation stage of dual enrollment application.
Yeah, we are targeting spring of 2025. Erin, you need to come to this upcoming SSS user group meeting and you'll find out more of the details because we're going to talk a lot about it. And we'll be showing you our progress. So I believe you are on our list of SSS users, but if, because I think I saw your name in that user group, but if you can make it to that meeting at September 26th at 2 p.m., we can give you a lot more details.
Yes. So student testing coming up in the fall, broad pilot testing for colleges in the spring. Is that dual enrollment? Thank you, Michelle, for weighing in on contact with Lucian on common course numbering. We'll have more time for questions here in a minute. I just want to close out a couple of slides. For our roadmap highlights, each of our directors talked a little bit about what's coming this fiscal year, this academic year with regards to roadmap. But I wanted to provide a higher level overview of how we operate. The Tech Center has annual roadmaps and work plans, specifically with the Chancellor's Office, that we update our roadmaps on a quarterly review cycle. So with each quarter, in fact, we're coming up on the end of the first quarter already. We have a review cycle to make sure that any new requests that have come in, as Jane mentioned, things like a legislative mandate that we didn't know about when we first rolled the annual roadmap, that we have the opportunity to update those roadmaps and make sure that we are meeting the needs of the system for our quarterly review cycle. And this fiscal year, we are committed to greater transparency regarding our planned work. Specifically, we want to make sure that we are letting all of the colleges know what the potential impacts are to local processes so that you all can plan it into your own timelines and workflows and project planning and those kinds of things. So watch for additional communications around some of the details for the roadmap highlights we've hit on here today. We collaborate with the Foundation for California Community Colleges with regards to our communications and outreach, and you'll start seeing more detail come through several different channels. We have some that are specific to individuals via contacts we keep in a couple of different settings, and then we have broad distribution of information in partnership with the Foundation. As was mentioned, for COCI, the Common Course Numbering system had a webinar yesterday, and specific to technology, and our product manager, Rachel Stam, was able to present on what the new technology will look like, enhancements that are coming on COCI in support of Common Course Numbering. I know there was a question in the chat regarding working with our ERP vendors on making sure that the systems are able to accommodate the new course identifiers that have been laid out and the standard that was established for Common Course Numbering. Each of the vendors has come out and said what they are planning to do with regards to addressing the needs that we now have for CCN. So make sure that you're connecting with your user group base to speak as a unit, speak as the community colleges united with the vendors to make sure that we're pushing them to accommodate the requirements of the new course identifier string. And watch this is COCI month, or I'm sorry, this is Common Course Numbering Month. All of September, there are webinars each week on different topics specific to Common Course Numbering. So watch for that series for more information on that. The other thing I just wanted to touch on briefly is that the Cradle to Career data effort at the state level for longitudinal data is leveraging some of the pieces of e-transcript. And so the Tech Center is engaged with Cradle to Career and multiple partners and stakeholders regarding that effort. And so watch for additional information to come regarding enhancements to electronic transcript functionality and support. There was $12 million laid out in the budget for this fiscal year to support e-transcript expansion, and more information will be forthcoming. The last thing that we wanted to make available to everyone is how do you get these services? That's a lot of what I'm seeing here in the chat. How do I get the non-credit application in use at my college, which is a great tool, by the way, up to 95% completion rate on that. Very simplified workflow. How do I access Canvas 2 data? How do I set up my fraud reporting? How do I join a group? Reach out to your college experience manager. There are 3 of them. Beth, Ramya, and Monica are all on the call today answering questions, and they will be able to get you pointed in the right direction. They'll provide you with documentation, they'll set up calls, they'll get questions answered, and put you in touch with the right parties within the tech center to make sure that you get access to all the things that you need. Separately, if it's accessibility related, if you want to get on board with the ACMM, one of those 10 remaining slots for this fiscal year, reach out directly to our accessibility team at the email there on the slide. So I will pause there and make sure that we've answered questions that have come in the chat, and I will pause for a moment for that.
Yeah, I'm looking through, I think thanks to Jane, Mark, Steve, everybody, I think we're answering them on chat, but if you still have a question, MC, if you see anything that we haven't answered, let me know. Tana, you had a question, and for the benefit of the others on the call, if you have a question about any of the product, if you're not sure yet if it's a good right fit for your school, you either want to have a quick session to go over any questions you might have, or even look at a brief demo, please reach out to a college experience managers, and we can set up a call to go over and help you evaluate if that's a right fit for you. Thank you.
We also maintain an inventory. So I saw some of the questions in the chat were, how do we find out if we're taking advantage of this at my college or district? We do keep track of all of that. And so that is something that you can reach out to your CEM, and they can look in our Salesforce inventory for your specific college and let you know if, yes, you already have it in place or you don't. So happy to help with those things as well. Esal, thank you so much. It's great to see you on webinars. Lots of familiar faces today, and new faces as well. That's why we have this Tech Center 101 session. Summer usually marks a time when people take on new roles. There are all kinds of retirements and promotions and movement across our system and within our colleges. And so feel free to always reach out if you're curious about our products and services or need help, or you've inherited something and you're not sure where to start. You can always reach out to our CEMs. We want to make sure that you have that single contact as a starting point. And the other thing we offer and often tell people is, if it's something technology related and you're not sure if it's the tech center, start with our CEMs and we will direct you to the California Virtual Campus or Palomar with our CCT Tech Connect Zoom support. We are here to help and make sure that you have the support you need, including handing you off to specific contacts for those other products and services that exist. So please reach out.
Yeah, and on the heels of that, you know, if you have somebody new in tech leadership position or even leadership position in other departments, admission and records, student services, if you'd be kind enough to have, share the CM's email address with them and have them drop us a note, or if you can drop us a note and let us know there's been change in leadership, it would help us immensely to update our records and make sure the right message is reaching the right people in a timely manner. So again, it's a request. If you could help us, if you are aware of new folks in new roles in your district, please let us know. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions?
Don't see any coming in.
Okay. I encourage everyone to look at what your college is doing, reach out with questions. Again, some of the topics we couldn't touch on today because it's being recorded, because it's being distributed. We can answer via the CEM's email or our private spam forum and a few other spaces. So please, if you still have those questions, reach out. We will also have our teams reach out to some of those in the chat that we couldn't answer live, but we want to make sure that everyone has the support that they need. So with that, thank you all for joining us. I know that time is precious as we step through the first weeks of the new term, and I wish for all of you a successful semester or quarter coming up, and we will see you all in various spaces as we work to support our colleges and our students. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. And Steve, Jane, Mark, John, Ramya, Monica, Beth, thank you so much for your support today. I appreciate you all hopping in and answering questions. It made it really easy. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thanks,
great week
everyone.
and weekend. It's Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks, and all.